In the quiet residential district of Cheondong in Guri, a suburb known for its sense of anonymity and calm that often attracts public figures looking for a more grounded routine away from the constant noise of Seoul, the morning of November 15th began with the same stillness that typically settles over the neighborhood before sunrise, until that stillness was abruptly broken when a man in his 30s, described by police as unemployed and struggling with financial hardship, entered the private home of singer-actress-model Nana, whose real name is Jinah, a figure who has spent more than a decade in the public eye, first as a high-impact performer in the K-pop industry, then as a respected actress navigating roles that gradually expanded her artistic identity beyond the polished choreography and stage lighting that defined the earlier years of her career. Nana, who was born in Cheongju in 1991, entered the entertainment world through modeling, competing in the Asia-Pacific Supermodel Contest in 2009, before debuting as a member of After School under Pledis Entertainment, where she became known not only for her striking visuals and commanding stage presence, but also for her work as a main dancer, lead rapper, vocalist, and vital center figure across the group's diverse concepts, including the iconic subunit Orange Caramel, whose playful, visually elaborate performances became a cultural phenomenon in the early 2010s and served as a major reason her name circulated so widely among domestic and international fans. Her career did not end on the idol stage. Instead, it branched into acting, where she took on roles that required a different kind of discipline and emotional depth, such as her performances in Kill It and Justice in 2019, showcasing a maturity that pushed her beyond the idol-turned-actress stereotype and allowed audiences to see her as someone capable of handling darker, more complex narratives. Alongside acting, she continued modeling, and her public image evolved further when she openly shared aspects of her personal identity, including her tattoos and later the process of removing them, speaking candidly about the stages of self-expression she was moving through, all while preparing for a new chapter in her music career, with a solo project set to reintroduce her voice and style, independent of her group past. It is within this multi-layered context, idol, actress, public figure, returning musician, that the intrusion into her home took place, making the event not just a moment of violence, but an intersection of personal vulnerability and public life, occurring in a period where she was once again gaining renewed visibility and re-establishing her creative identity. According to the details investigators have released so far, and keeping in mind that some elements remain under review, the man reportedly gained entry to the residence through an access point that has not been publicly confirmed in complete consistency. Earlier reports mention a veranda and possibly an unsecured door, while others simply state he entered the home. But regardless of the exact path, authorities agree that he stepped inside armed with a weapon and immediately demanded money, transforming the pre-dawn quiet into a sudden collision between desperation and danger inside a space that should have been a sanctuary for Nana and her mother. Inside those moments, while the complete second-by-second account remains known only to those present, investigators have confirmed that Nana's mother sustained injuries during the struggle, injuries documented by medical professionals and submitted to authorities, resulting in the legal classification of the incident as attempted robbery with injury, a charge more serious than attempted robbery alone, reflecting not only the presence of physical harm, but also the elevated severity with which the law approaches crimes that involve violence inside a private residence. The suspect's statement during questioning adds yet another layer to the case. He claimed that he had no knowledge that the home belonged to a celebrity and explained that he was acting under the pressure of financial hardship, a claim that police have acknowledged as part of the ongoing investigation but have not confirmed as fact, since authorities are still determining whether he surveyed multiple homes, whether he chose the location randomly, or whether his explanation aligns with evidence collected at the scene. Despite being confronted by an armed intruder demanding money, both Nana and her mother resisted. Through physical struggle, they managed to subdue and restrain him until police arrived, an outcome that is both rare and remarkably dangerous in home invasion situations, and one that led authorities to state that any injuries the suspect sustained will likely be considered legitimate self-defense, given the circumstances. Following his detainment, a court issued an arrest warrant on the grounds of flight risk, moving the case into its next legal stage as prosecutors prepare to review statements, medical documentation, and the evolving narrative of events that took place before sunrise in a home that had, until that moment, served as the private backdrop to a life spent primarily in public view. The incident has sparked renewed discussions about home security, especially for celebrities who often rely not on highly visible protective measures, but on discretion, low-profile neighborhoods, and the belief that familiarity and routine form a kind of invisible shield, when in reality the boundary between safety and intrusion can be as fragile as an unlocked entry point, a moment of vulnerability, or the unpredictable decision of someone acting out of desperation. And for Nana, a performer whose identity spans the bright theatricality of Orange Caramel, the stage artistry of After School, the emotional complexity of her acting roles, the elegance of her modeling work, and the personal reinvention reflected in her solo projects, the event becomes more than a headline. It becomes a sudden fracture in the continuity of an otherwise carefully navigated career, forcing her to reconcile the public's perception of her strength and glamour with the private reality of experiencing violence in the one place where she should have been most protected. The intrusion at Nana's home, therefore, is not only a criminal event, but a moment where the threads of fame, vulnerability, personal reinvention, and physical danger intertwine into a single narrative, one that continues to unfold through legal channels as investigators gather more detail, while Nana and her mother face the emotional aftermath of a morning that shattered the boundary between their public lives and their private space in the most unexpected and unsettling way.